Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to Makeup and Movie Monday. I hope you're doing very well. So this week we are here to talk about another one of my favourite movies. I'm not doing this deliberately, I promise. It's just whenever I'm thinking about what film to talk about, I always want to talk about a movie that I know very well, that I know that I can talk about and not kind of mess up on it. But if you haven't seen any of my videos before, my name is Amina. Every Monday I bring you a video where I do my makeup and I talk about a film. So I've been doing it for quite a few weeks now, and I'm really enjoying it. It's a lot of fun, and yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. But yeah, today we're going to be talking about my second favourite film ever made. Yes, I have a list. I made it, I think it's like the second video on my channel. So if you go right back to the beginning, then you have a look at my top 10 favourite films ever made. Number 2 is going to be Leon. So this is called Leon slash or Leon the Professional, directed by Luc Besson. And basically I am going to be talking about this amazing, amazing movie while I put makeup on my face. It's basically just that simple. um, so let's just get into it. So obviously, as always, the makeup is going to be kind of the secondary kind of aspect part of the video. So I will be talking more about the film. And I'm really excited to talk about this film because it's a film that I have watched, I can't even count how many times I've seen it. And just my absolute love for this film. And like I said, it is my second favourite film ever made. And I have been really watching movies ever since I was able to kind of watch TV. Basically, I grew up in a family where we're very like TV orientated, and everything was like the TV. And I remember watching Leon for the first time. My brother bought it on VHS tape, and I remember it being like a widescreen edition, and I was just like, why are we watching this in widescreen? Because it covers up half of the film. And then my dad was like, no, widescreen is you get to see more of the picture. And I was a bit like, but the half the screen is missing. Like, if you're watching this and you just have half of this missing, what are you watching? But that didn't ruin the experience for me. So yeah, here we are talking about this amazing film. So Leon slash Leon the Professional, as it's essentially called, was released in 1994. And like I mentioned, it was directed by Luc Besson, who is a French director. And he had previously made, I mean, quite a few films, not as kind of, I think, as big as Leon became. So he had done Subway, which a movie that I absolutely love. I think it is a fantastic movie. It's got Christopher Lambert in it, who is from Highlander, in case you haven't seen it. And it also has Jean Reno in it, who actually plays Leon in the movie, essentially. And he also did a movie called The Big Blue, which I have not seen, which is meant to be also very good. And yeah, obviously when Leon came out, it was pretty amazing because, like I said, you've got Jean Reno in it, who is kind of more kind of known for either like this film, or he was in the first Mission Impossible. He was also in Ronin, which is a movie not about samurai, but it's got Robert De Niro in it, and it's essentially like a heist movie. And yeah, it's also got Natalie Portman in it. She's like, I believe this was like one of her first movie roles. She actually turned 12 on while they were filming, so she was extremely young. And of course, she's now known for, V for Vendetta and Black Swan, that she won her Oscar for. And also the Thor movies, like 1 and Thor 2, which was pretty bad in my opinion. Don't come for me, sorry. I don't really like that film, but that's beside the point. Natalie Portman is a fantastic actress, and she does so well as Matilda because her character goes through a lot of shit, as I will kind of talk about. If you haven't seen this film, it's gonna be spoilers. I mean, this movie is very old. Like I said, it came, well, not very old, but it came out in 94, so it's been out a while if you haven't seen it. It also stars Gary Oldman, who is one of my favorite actors of all time. he's amazing. I think for me, this might have to be my favorite role of his. It was kind of essentially the first film that got me into watching his films. And yeah, he extremely like overacts in this movie, but I think it works well with his character because his character is essentially a policeman who is very dodgy and takes pills and is fucking mental. Um, and I just think he plays it very well. I think it was during that era when he was playing just constantly just playing villains, and now you will know him as like Gordon from the Batman, the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, and just a lot of other random things as well. But yeah, this and like him in True Romance is probably like my favorite roles that he's ever been in. But yeah, so this film essentially, so there's I was trying to like rack it in my brain the easiest way to kind of describe this film. So there's three different main characters essentially. So you have Leon, who is an assassin. He works for essentially like he has a boss, so he is an assassin who goes around and kills people. They call it cleaning. And then you have Natalie Portman's character, who is a young girl who lives in the same building as Leon, and her parents are very kind of dysfunctional. She has like a really young brother and a sister who is not by blood. It's more of a she's like adopted, not adopt. No, so she's not. So she's she is the daughter of the mother, but that's not her mother. Had to get my brush. Sorry. And she has a little brother as well. And they are in essentially big kind of debt with Norman Stansfield, who is Gary Oldman's character, who I said is a policeman, who's kind of like dealing drugs. So, and that's when his character kind of comes into the story as well. So, like I mentioned, you know, the family owe him a lot of money, or they owe him like the drugs because he's meant to be, you know, passing on the drugs and the money exchanging, etc. So he's like a dealer basically. And they think he's kind of just taken the money or taken the drugs and not kind of paying his way. And then they essentially, spoilers, get killed by like Stansfield. Basically, that whole scene is really intense because Matilda kind of goes out to get like groceries, which is just like around the corner. Then all these police turn up, and of course, because they're all dodgy cops, them killing them isn't, you know, it gets kind of gets brushed under the rug because they're like a dysfunctional family. And you know, he kind of just like, well, he tried to kill me first, so that's it. So basically, Matilda becomes essentially, when she gets back to the her home, she kind of sees there's like blood everywhere and there's like shouting and screaming. So she goes towards another flat, which actually ends up belonging to Leon. So how crazy is that? Shocker. And then he kind of takes her under the wig, even though he's a very like secretive person, because obviously he doesn't want anyone to know what he does, and the fact that he is an assassin, a murderer, basically. So then Matilda kind of becomes his, I guess, yeah, they like become really friends, and it becomes really weird because she becomes quite attracted to him. I think it's more based on like the trauma that she has gone through because she didn't have a very good childhood as well. So the trauma of someone like him looking after her, it kind of becomes that, I don't know, it's very weird because when I first watched it, I was like, okay, she is in love with him. I don't get it. And I still really don't get it. But you kind of see, because he becomes such an important figure in her life and he saves her life numerous times, that she kind of, I guess she kind of becomes like attracted to him caring, even though she really takes it a different way. And it's weird because there's two different versions to this film, where there's a director's cut and then there's a theatrical cut. The director's cut doesn't bring a whole load to the movie itself, I guess, in my opinion. There's a couple of scenes in it, and when Matilda finds out that he is like a paid assassin, she's like, I want you to kill my family, or I want you to teach me how to be a cleaner, and then I will kill them myself. Weirdly enough, like he does, I mean, he kind of has no choice to really help her, because she kind of holds a gun to her head and she's like, if you don't help me, I'm gonna go and kill them myself and they'll probably kill me, so then your death is, my death will be on your hands. So you have to help me. So that's what he does. He teaches her how to kill. The first weapon that you ever learn is the gun. The last is a knife, because it's more intimate and stuff like that. And it's really amazing that the way that they're, I guess it is a friendship, but it's a bit strange because obviously it kind of insinuates that there's a lot more going on, which I find extremely weird. But it's it just works so well. Like their chemistry is fantastic. The film itself, it's such a sad story, because there's these people who are just living their life, but there's so much shit in the way, everything gets in the way. So I'm just gonna do the eyes next. I'm gonna try and figure out what kind of look I'm going for today, because, well, I'm going for a red, surprise, surprise. But this movie just really changed my life, I guess, when I was growing up, because had, I guess I was very young. I was born in '87, so it came out when I was 7. Even though I don't think I saw it when I was 7, I think I saw it when I was a bit older. But it just was really shocking, because it is extremely violent and it is very just crazy. But I guess it's just a fantastic film, because you get to see, yes, Leon is this kind of cold-blooded killer essentially, but he has a really kind of kind heart, and he likes singing in the rain, and you become really kind of connected with him as a person. um, and I guess in the director's cut you get to find out how he ended up where he was, and why he become an assassin. And his boss like took him in when his girlfriend or someone, I think, left him, or she died. I can't really remember. It's very strange. I haven't seen the director's cut as much as the normal version, even though it is pretty good, because in the director's cut you get to see Matilda and Leon kind of do some jobs together, which is quite funny. It's really random, but it works really well. You get to see her just like kick ass basically. And one of the things that I love about the movie is just Natalie Portman's performance, because she is someone who has grown up in such difficult circumstances, and she goes into another difficult circumstance because essentially her parents, or her family, have been killed. And now she's living she's like lived with an assassin who is going to help her seek revenge. But I guess there's kind of a lot more to it in that aspect, but it just, the way that everything flows, and just all the characters, how they like just work together, and the ending is just one of the most heartbreaking endings ever. If you haven't seen it, like I said, it is just like crazy spoilers. But essentially when Matilda kind of goes after like Stansfield and everyone, Leon is kind of there to kind of basically just get rid of them. But they kind of, one thing I like about the villains is that they're not stupid, because they're police. They know that this guy is an assassin, and they have connections to know who he's working for. So they kind of find out who he is, and they find where he lives, and then they essentially try to take him down. And there's this massive like showdown towards the end, and sadly Leon does get killed. But he goes out in like a blaze of glory, because he takes Stansfield down with him, which is one of the craziest scenes like ever, because you think Leon is going to make it, because he is kind of leaving this massive building that where everything is taking place, because the police essentially all turn up to take down this one guy, but he just has the skills to just be so much more clever than everyone, and that's what I love about his character, is that he is using his skills to defeat the police in that aspect. It's more like corrupt police, basically. And just the ending where you think that obviously Stansfield's got him because he catches him from behind, shoots him in the head, and then Leon is essentially, this is for Matilda, which is one scene that I just get crazy upset about because you just know what's happening next. And then you see him hand Stansfield like a grenade kind of pin. And he's like, okay, what's this? And then he opens up his jacket and it's just got all these explosions. And he's just like, oh shit, I'm about to die. And then, towards the end, Matilda kind of goes back to school. And it's weird because they said they were going to make like a second movie, which I've always thought was a bit kind of like, we don't need it. Like, it would be amazing to see what happened to Matilda. Like, did she use her, hitman skills, her cleaning skills? But I guess now, because Natalie Portman, I guess she's not too old, but I don't know if it'd be something that she would want to do. But back in like maybe the early 2000s, that would have been amazing to see another kind of movie around her character. But I guess what's she doing around the 90s? I guess, well, when like kind of Star Wars happened, and then obviously she got into the MCU. So I guess something probably wouldn't have happened, but I think that movie by itself is just amazing, everything about it. And like even Bjork, like the soundtrack that they have a few of her songs. I don't know if it's more than one, but using her music in the film is just amazing. And yeah, the whole cast is fantastic. um, Luc Besson I do really like as a director, although a lot of his movies these days are pretty bad in my opinion. I mean, I saw Lucy and I really hated it. I don't mind Scarlett Johansson, especially like in the MCU movies, but that movie was freaking terrible. I saw Valerian. It was okay. It was entertaining, but it's not for me, to be honest. But then when you have a movie like Fifth Element, oh man, like I might do a video on Fifth Element. It's such a good movie. Sorry, I'm just trying to like put my lip liner on and talk at the same time. But yeah, that also has Gary Oldman in it as well. And essentially, it was the movie that Luc Besson made right after Leon, because I think when I was checking out all the information, like Fifth Element came out in '97, so he had a bit of a break between Leon and Fifth Element. So let me just get this on, and then we're almost done. Beautiful. But yeah, that is Leon. That is my one of my favorite movies of all time. It's never going to change because that movie is just it's pretty much perfect. I absolutely love it. It is strange, the whole kind of relationship aspect that they would have together, but I think it just works really well for people who have been through trauma. You kind of become attached to the person that's closest to you, even though they could be an assassin or however, but if they're just helping you, that connection that you make. But yeah, that is Leon. That is my Makeup Movie Monday. This is my look. Let me know what you think. If you have any films that you want me to try and talk about, let me know in the comments. And I reply to all comments. And yeah, I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I film and upload every time I get a chance to. Even every Monday is my Makeup Movie Monday essentially, so that's a guarantee. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you're well, I hope you're healthy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.